I can look from the reading area into the rest of the library where the action is. I'm among the books, the sort of original core of the library, but I look at the area where I can see the people. I can see computers that people are using. I can see the circulation desk. I can see children who come up the stairs with smiles on their faces. I can see the Carnegie area. So it's where I'm sitting, where I look, where I see the arches, to the sense of the building for me. And once again, it's the people. It's the people that have made the architecture, and not necessarily the architecture that's brought in the people.
In 1819, Edwardsville was on the western frontier of the United States. Less than a year after Illinois became a state, the progressive frontier town was already home to a free public library. This first library, which preceded our current Carnegie building by almost 100 years, was chartered in 1823. It consisted of 121 items and a single librarian, Mr. John H. Randall. The original book catalog of this library has been preserved, and it is still viewable today. Although this first library endured only a short time, it remains one of the oldest libraries in Illinois and the foundation upon which our current library rests. In the absence of a formal library, the essence of the library was preserved by a group of dedicated women who tended the collection as it moved to various locations around Edwardsville. In 1879, the library was permanently rechartered. One of the most influential librarians to cultivate this new library was Sarah Coventry, whose years as head librarian from 1891 to 1937 make her the most enduring librarian to ever stock the stacks.
Miss Sarah Coventry, the librarian, when I was about 12 years old, I went in one day to check out Spoon River Anthology and Almer Gantry, and she said, "Those are not for you." She wouldn't let me check them out. And also, we were not allowed to make any noise. We had to tiptoe and speak in whispers.
With the support of the community, Miss Sarah's library continued to grow. At the dawn of the 20th century, a collision of fate, community, and a Scottish steel magnate named Andrew Carnegie would radically change the library's history. Carnegie, in an attempt to disperse his considerable wealth, began to donate money to towns both small and large for the establishment of public libraries. In Carnegie's own words, "There is not such a cradle of democracy upon the earth as the free public library, this republic of letters where neither rank, office, nor wealth receives the slightest consideration." Carnegie's philanthropy built more than 2,800 libraries across the United States. In 1903, Edwardsville resident Charles Beschenstein, the publisher of the Intelligencer and a former mayor, wrote Andrew Carnegie to request funds to erect a library building. Through Beschenstein's efforts, Edwardsville received $12,500 for the construction of a permanent home for the public library. The city of Edwardsville complimented Carnegie's offer by donating a parcel of land in the city park for the library to occupy. Work began in 1904, and the building was dedicated on June 28, 1906. At that time, a library membership cost 10 cents per month, which allowed access to a collection of roughly 500 books. To support the continued operation of the library, patrons hosted several community events and fundraisers, such as concerts and card games. In 1926, a section of the basement was transformed into the children's room, a place that continues to inspire and delight to this day.
I like the stage, so I can hang out with my friends, and I really like the study area upstairs with the really beautiful roof where you can just relax and read a book.
As the library and the community changed, the need for renovation of the Carnegie Building became evident. In 1953, the heirs of Charles Beschenstein came to the library's aid. Through their largesse, a renovation of the library was undertaken with the hope of modernizing and improving the aging Carnegie Building. In March of 1956, as the renovation was drawing to a close, Edwardsville residents were in Champaign supporting the boys' basketball team. On that fateful night, the history of the Edwardsville Library changed drastically.
We were in Champaign at the state tournament. Saturday night, Edwardsville was playing. We came home and found out there'd been this fire at the library, and we thought, oh my heavens. We were afraid we'd be closed for months and everything would be gone. But that's how I do remember, because somebody called and said, did you know they had a terrible fire at the library? Early the next morning.
An overheated stone hearth in the children's reading room, now Carnegie's Cafe, is believed to have started the fire, which quickly consumed the contents of the library. No one was hurt, but most of the collection was destroyed by fire, smoke, or water.
There was a lot of smoke damage, and still to this day, you can find books in the library that have smoke damage on their pages.
The stone walls survived the fire, and with the support of the community, the rebuilding of the Carnegie Library began immediately. The library reopened its doors in 1957. A year later, Edwardsville artist Miriam McKinney brightened the walls of the children's room with whimsical scenes from children's tales. These scenes include The Pied Piper of Hamelin, Hey Diddle Diddle, Sing a Song of Sixpence, and Mother Goose. Not long after the reconstruction, it became apparent that the library needed to expand. In 1964, construction began on the north wing of the building, which opened in 1965. The wing added 2,250 square feet to the library, which provided space for 15,000 books and doubled the area of the reference room. Today it houses the Gates Lab and the collection of the Madison County Genealogical Society. In 1978, a dedicated group of volunteers decided to form a new organization to cement their commitment to the library. The Edwardsville Library Friends, or ELFs, aid in developing public understanding of the library and in making its resources better known to the community. The ELFs planned events to help support the library, such as Snacks in the Stacks, herb and book sales, and family film favorites. The ELFs would also play a key role in the future expansion of the library building.
We'd have a book sale or two every year, for 2 or 3 days. And remember, they'd be all over the basement, in the children's room, in the hallway, down there, in some of the, storage areas and things. And then people would come and, you'd make several $100, and then just, since it was all volunteer, you'd just end up giving it to the library.